incredulous behavior that you've exhibited by recording these.
Do not dare say that to me.
You are interrupting me once again.
Your Honor, she just gave me the finger. I'm looking at the screen.
Hold on, right now, don't interrupt my record. Do not interrupt the record right now. Both of you, please stop.
She said that she's seen your picture as part of a swingers club.
I
While we
never
were
said
standing
that. Listen, this might be laughable, but I will admit what I said. I had no.
All right, so we are on record in the matter of William Branson versus Heather Collins, 2402269. And counsel?
Good afternoon.
Appearance, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Holly Dever, bringing behalf of Mr. Collins, Mr. Branson, who sits to my left.
Okay. And ma'am, your name, please.
Heather Collins.
Okay. So today is the date for the bench trial in this matter. Let me swear both your client in as well as Ms. Collins. I'm going to try to, I'm going to see if we can do this a little bit less formally to see where we get. So sir, please raise your right hand. Ma'am, thank you. Do you both solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I wanted to state one thing is that my court officer informed me that he knows your client, counsel. I didn't inquire as to how he knows him, but I will say that I don't know I don't believe that affects my ability to be unbiased, but I wanted to place that on the record in case anybody had any questions that they wanted to ask, or if they wanted this court to disqualify itself.
I do. If I might want this to be brought down to Wayne County.
Well, it wouldn't be Wayne County, it would be another district court.
Then yes, it might be. If it's not going to be dismissed off of the motion to dismiss, then I do want it brought to a different court.
Okay, on what basis, ma'am?
I already know he's told me in the past that he has the judge in his pocket and the police officers in his pocket. I have a box of text messages saying that to me.
Okay, so let me just clarify one thing. Sir, do I know you?
No, ma'am.
He's been in front of you many of times, and I have.
Hold on,
permission of that.
ma'am, hold
Yes.
on just one moment. You made an allegation, so I want to clarify that for the record, because I don't know that I know Mr. Branson.
Yes.
Sir, have you been in front of the court before?
No, ma'am.
Yes, I'm gonna say 20-some years ago.
So it would not have been in front of me.
No.
It was not in front of me.
Yeah.
When you were a member of the city council,
Was I a member of the city council?
you signed off papers on him to do side work, and he actually submitted that, and you were the one who signed off for him to do property work on his house.
Property work
Yes, he actually submitted that in his own evidence.
that I signed off for him to do
Yes.
maintenance on his.
Yes, Your Honor. I have copies of the paperwork.
Okay, let me take a look at that paperwork, because, I mean, if I. And Mr. Branson, how do you know my court officer?
A longtime family friend from years ago. I haven't had any
Let's see,
relation with
Santa
him for
right
at least
there.
15.
Okay, so you know who each other, you know who each one is, but you haven't had any communication in the last 15 years?
No, easy, yeah, no.
If you go to his filing that he submitted himself. Okay,
ma'am,
I'm just saying.
Please stop, just one moment, okay? All right. Okay, so ma'am, this is a zoning board of appeals and adjustment. I do not sit on this board. This is my husband who sits on this board.
Okay.
And I can 100% tell you that we do not discuss anything
Okay.
that he does here. This is definitely not me.
Okay.
I've never sat on a board, a zoning and appeals board.
Okay.
And this is from 2009, so I can tell you 100% that whatever this would have been, I have no idea. And I will also state that member DeSanto abstained. There were two members one that abstained, one that was absent. So I don't know why he would have abstained. I have no idea, but I can tell you that I did not sign off on anything.
Your Honor, I'm just going off of what he used to tell me, and in the text messages I have, where he said I have the judge in my back pocket.
Okay,
Your Honor, again, that's simply not true.
hold on, let me clarify something. Sir, do you know my husband?
Personally, no.
Okay, so ma'am, I will tell you right now, I do not know Mr. Branson.
Okay.
And
Yes, I'm fine.
so do you have any issues with this court continuing?
Not at this moment.
Okay, well, I would say that, that if something different comes up and it's shown that somehow I know Mr. Branson or somehow, then perhaps we can revisit it, but moving on, but at this point, I find that I can be
Okay,
unbiased.
thank you.
And I don't know Mr. Branson, and Mr. Branson knows, my court officer, but they haven't had contact for at least 15 years.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So,
I appreciate that, Your Honor, for you being honest.
okay, so let me, and I will also say too, in smaller towns, right, you're gonna have that crossing and such, but, you know, as I learned in new judge school, that judges are elected to serve, and they have to sit and reside in the community that they serve, and so sometimes there's going to be people that they know, so it all just has to be disclosed on the record.
May I just be frank a moment? I'm just scared because in my text messages, since I've lived there, he has said he has police officers in his pocket. He has a judge in his pocket. That is just where.
Let me see the text message you're referencing, please.
No, I will find it. I have 2 full boxes that I've printed out.
Okay, I'd like to see that, I'd like to see the message that's.
I will have to find them, but.
Okay, I'll give you a moment, go ahead. Terry, can you pull that?
I don't know if it's in these. I can pull them up off my phone too, if it's not in the ones I printed off here. It might be in the ones that I gave you.
Okay, you said gave me, you mean
Yes.
in your filing, that, the motion
Yeah,
that
I
you
didn't
filed?
print off the entire text chain, but the police also have them too. Because we found out he wasn't a police officer. That he's never been a police officer, that he's told me, but we could continue, that's not, neither here nor there. I
Actually,
accept.
no, Your Honor, she said she just represented under oath to the court. She made a statement, an affirmative statement about,
I just wish she
Let me
could.
finish.
Ma'am, you can't interrupt, okay,
Thank you.
just one moment.
at this point in time, Your Honor, she's sworn under oath, and you've asked her for those documents, now she's backing away from it.
Oh, no, no, we're not stopping, I need those, I wanna see
Okay,
that.
I'm trying to find them right now, I have stage 4 cancer and I had a surgery, Your Honor. I'm saying if I don't have them here, then they're on my phone.
Okay,
I would like time. And if I can't
I'm
find,
giving you some time right now to look for those.
I have over 1,000 pages here. I'm just
Okay,
saying,
then do you have your phone with you?
yes.
Okay, pull up your phone, and then on your text messages, when you pull it
May I
up,
sit down a moment? while I do this?
absolutely,
Thank
you can do a
Yes,
search,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you.
You can do a search for the name Pocket, or search for
I don't
the
know how
Pocket.
to do all that, ma'am. I have a 2010, an iPhone 10.
Actually, you can just go to your text messages, you can hit search, and you can just type in a word, and it'll pull up all the text messages that have that word in
The
it.
police are going through my phone because he has gotten into my phone, Your Honor. The police have, I have a police case against him right
Hold on,
now.
ma'am, right now, I'm not worried about that, I wanna know what that says.
He's been editing my phone, Your Honor, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Ma'am, please just take a minute, or 2, or 5, and look for that, please.
I will. But I'm just saying, I also
I don't,
made a motion to
with
dismiss.
no more commentary.
My motion to dismiss doesn't mean anything.
I said no more commentary. I haven't gotten that far yet. You've made an allegation, and I want to see what that message is. And did you do a search?
I am looking right now. It won't let me do a search. So I have to look through the entire text feed.
Do you know what month it was that he stated that to you?
When I first moved in,
Which was when?
back in June.
Okay, so
That's
it's just
why
going
I-
back to June?
Yeah, that's why I've been terrified living there.
Okay, ma'am, I didn't ask for all that. I'm just asking if you went back to June.
Yes, I'm all the way at the beginning of the text feed. That's why I said we can move on. I'm fine.
No, ma'am, we're not moving on until I see that. Did you find it yet, ma'am?
No, ma'am, I'm still looking through all his comments he was sending me. Mayor, Your Honor, it's honestly gonna be a moment. I honestly am not trying to lie to this court. It was said to me.
You made an allegation, and it's on the record, and so I would like
It
to.
is on the record because it was
Ma'am,
said.
ma'am, I'm just gonna let you know right now, I'm not gonna have the continued interruptions. You made the comment on the record, the allegation on the record, so I want to address that on the record. That is what I'm saying. Because I can assure you that in the event anything like that was said, this court's not in the back pocket of anybody. I don't even know the plaintiff, as was already established. Okay, well, while you're still looking for that, I'm going to ask a few questions. Ma'am, you have been residing in the home since June, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And what is the monthly rental amount?
$1,500.
And counsel, what is the tribal issue that we have?
Your Honor, there is a trial issue. There was a $500 balance in November.
Oh, November, okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
$500 partial paid with a $1,000 balance in November.
That's
You said
correct.
December and January and February have not been paid?
Have not been paid, but I verified earlier today, per the court's order, she had made $5,500 deposit into the escrow.
So then the only thing that you were looking for was the rent that was not paid.
Correct.
And so,
And utilities.
And utilities.
well, hold on, that's not on the complaint. On the complaint, it says $625 and it says late fees. So, and you're withdrawing your late fees.
Correct.
Okay, so it doesn't have any other allegation in here other than the unpaid rent.
That's correct, Your Honor. We will withdraw the allegations regarding the utilities. So the only thing we're seeking, in fact, are the rent, just the rent.
Okay, now, December and $1,500, so that's $5,500, so $5,500 is due and owing. And Ms. Collins has deposited $5,500 in escrow.
Correct.
So, once your client gets that, rent's paid in full.
That's correct.
Okay, so Ms. Collins, you filed two motions, so I was actually asking those questions because I wanted us all to be on the same page with what the issues are. So you filed a motion to dismiss and an amended motion to dismiss, and then you've also filed the motion to suppress the exhibit list. Now, I will note that this matter was scheduled for today, and that these show that these were filed on Wednesday. Well, one was filed January 31st, which was the motion to dismiss. The amended motion to dismiss was filed February 5th, and then the motion to suppress the exhibit list was filed February 6th. Those weren't filed timely to be heard today with the court, because there needs to be proper notice, whether not only to the court, but also to Mr. Dagger.
You got it.
I'm sorry.
It goes both ways.
And so when you made the comment, ma'am, that your motion must not mean anything, that's not accurate. We can set it for a motion hearing later on, as far, it has to be filed at least 7 to 10 days prior to the hearing, depending on how it's being filed, okay? So, but it appears as though the rent has been paid in full, so what is the issue?
Your Honor, he doesn't have a certificate of compliance by law and Wyandotte law. He cannot collect rent there.
Okay,
And the reason he doesn't have it, Your Honor, is because he's attempted to obtain it over the past few months.
hold on, I'm gonna get to you, ma'am.
We went back and forth. In order for it to be scheduled, you've got to be able to specify time and date for the inspection to occur.
Okay,
She's refused to allow the inspections to occur. This issue of certificate of occupancy has never been raised before until after the eviction's begun. And as such, it's sort of a moot issue. Notwithstanding that the law, unlike what she claims, does allow the rent to be collected. And it's a question of fact for the court whether or not the place is habitable. The issue of rent abatement is related to rent compatibility.
hold on, just a moment. I'm not necessarily talking about abatement.
Yes,
But I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, if somebody has a temporary C of O, they can collect rent. If they don't have a C of O, they cannot collect rent, is what I recall. Nevertheless, ma'am, has there been attempts, and this is a yes or no answer, have there been attempts to schedule an inspection with the City of Wyandotte Building Department?
No,
Okay. Mr. Branson, do you have any communication from the City of Wyandotte that has attempted to schedule an inspection?
Verbally.
I do not need any comments, ma'am.
thank you.
I'm talking to you.
Sorry.
Verbally, I talked to Callie at the engineering office and basically she said, you have to give me a date so we can get you scheduled. Knowing she had health issues and things, I tried to communicate with her starting back in December saying, when's a good time to get in?
Okay,
Yes.
pause on that. Who has proof of those communications? I'm gonna guess you do, since you have 2 boxes of text messages, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'd like to see the communication between you and Mr. Branson regarding scheduling for the
No,
inspection.
Your Honor, I have something better.
Hold on, first I wanna see those text messages.
He never went to the city back in December.
Yeah, first let me just see the text messages, please.
I can show you my phone.
No, you said you printed them off.
Yeah.
Okay,
I said if somebody was in my house, he could come over. He then never wanted to come over.
yeah, right now I just wanna see the text messages, please.
But it wasn't for the city, never once for the city.
Ma'am, please.
Your Honor, while she's researching it, may I add something about the law?
Not yet,
Oh,
just
wait.
a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Man, these are out of order, the December ones are not.
Okay, is that on your phone?
Yes, I'm gonna pull them up. December 23rd, he
Okay,
said,
no, I'll take a look at your phone, please. You can show counsel, and then, counsel, I'm gonna look at that message there.
Your Honor, I'd like to see the before and after conversation.
Okay, well, first I want you to look at the December 23rd.
Mhm.
So, ma'am, if you can show Mr. Dagger the December 23rd message.
this is from him.
This is from him, okay. Can I see the prior message, please?
This is from him on the 23rd.
Can I see the prior message?
This is from him on the okay.
First, no, stop, I'm not gonna have you arguing. I said right now, just the 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then counsel, I'll review that, and then I'll move from there.
So this is your message, ma'am?
No, this is your message from your
So this is
person.
my client's message?
Yes.
Thank you. You're showing me what you want to show me.
No, I'm not.
Counsel, listen, I'm telling both of you right now.
I'm showing you.
Right now, stop. Right now I said just show the 23rd, right there, that one message. And then I'm going to go from there, counsel. I'm very familiar with messages that are deleted, not deleted, there's things that go before and after. So right now I just wanna look at the 23rd that she found, and then I will go from there. I don't need any more commentary. Counsel, did you look at the 23rd?
Your Honor.
I'm still showing him the date, the ones on the 23rd.
No, just the one. How many are there?
Well, there's my responses back to what he sent me
Hold on.
about that message.
I read my client's response, Your Honor.
No, that's all, I'm sending him the one he sent me about the inspection.
Okay, that's what I wanna see.
Response.
Let me see the 23rd.
And then I was gonna show my response to
After that,
this.
after I look at this one, then you can show the response.
That's the first time he ever brought up an
I don't need
inspection
any
to
more
me.
talking right now, please. On December 23rd, 24, we will change the filters during the city inspection that is scheduled for January. Time will be determined by the city, business hours is in parentheses. There will be 4 inspectors plus myself and must have access to all rooms and storage spaces, i.e. closets and pantries. We are sorry for the inconvenience and have a happy holidays. Now, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to read the message right before that, which that's in green, so that is from Ms. Collins. Obviously, there would be a penalty because you're not willing to give me my security, so don't act like you're trying to be someone nice when you're not. Why are you bringing an officer into this when I told you I'm going to be having someone here? So stop it now. If you want to fight with someone, continue it with your wife. Leave me alone today. Prior to that is from your client. There's a matter of 4 messages. We won't be coming into the office yet here, and then next one, officer with an asterisk. I'll be testing the locks to ensure they work properly. I don't understand, this is such a horrible environment, why you wouldn't want to leave, especially with the accusations you made. We are willing to break your lease, no penalty. Prior to that one, this is from Ms. Collins. No offer needed, I have someone coming. I'm not resending a list I sent a million times, as I stated before. You said you saved all your messages, relook through them. I'm not playing your games, I'm not sending another text message to you. I need to save my strength. I'm not sending another text message to you again. I will see you on Monday at 6:30, goodbye. Do not come a second earlier, I will call the cops breaking in. Really? And it comes
in whenever he wants.
Stop.
Sorry.
And it's 6:30 PM to be clear, because we both know how you twist things. Do not use key, I will open door or I will change locks. Prior to that, and that was in response to the message from your client. Actually, I'm gonna go a few back. Okay, starting December 21st. Good morning, is there any this is from your client, counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any possible way we can meet a mutual agreement that we can get into the house and change the furnace filter? Start up the humidifier on the furnace, change washing machine discharge filter and check the GFI, the kitchen. No arguments, we don't even need to have a conversation. I just need to make sure everything is operating properly so you don't have a breakdown when it gets colder. Kate and I will be coming in together so we can get out of your hair faster. I would like to do it either tomorrow or Monday evening after 4. Also, has the bathroom sink filter been cleaned? And Ms. Collins responds, it won't be until after 6:30 on Monday when I have someone with me. And the bathroom breaker needs to be fixed as well. If you're not willing to fix everything, then don't fix anything, clean and simple. There's more than just a problem on your list that needs to be done. And Mr. Branson responds, we will be there 6:30 on Monday. Thank you. I'll bring a GFI to replace if needed. And Ms. Collins responds, I said, only if I find someone to be here with me. Please don't misread that. No, ma'am, you said when you have someone with you. Let me clarify. You said when you have some, that's in your message. And then Mr. Branson says, please read your lease. Thank you. And then Ms. Collins says, I will not be alone on this place with either one of you. I don't care. I feel unsafe and my life is more important. Facts. Mr. Branson responds, them, you are refusing, correct? I'm giving you 48 hours notice for the record. Ms. Collins responds, I have you on tape saying you don't care if I feel unsafe. Conversation done. You are not allowed in unless someone is in here with me, so no, do not come in. To which your client responds, then have someone there with you. This is your written 48-hour notice. Ms. Collins responds, no, in all caps. Mr. Branson responds, thank you. Ms. Collins says, call the cops, I don't care anymore, in all caps. Mr. Branson says, all I needed. Ms. Collins says, I will put my safety before you, plain and simple. I feel unsafe around you. I feel in danger around you. The words I have on tape that you said that came out of your mouth is all I need. Okay, and then there's some allegations that I'm not going to read into the record because I don't know what basis that is or not. And then Mr. Branson states 6:30 Monday to get combinations done. Ms. Collins says, plus some of the stuff I paid ready to get fixed because you refuse to fix them that I've asked for months. Mr. Branson says, send me proof in a bill. Ms. Collins says, I will have every door locked. You will not be coming in at 6:30. Mr. Branson responds, I have keys. Ms. Collins states, just like you not sending me proof of bills, I don't need to send you anything. I will be seeing you in court. This will be my last message to you. Mr. Branson says, by law you do. I will be there with my key at 6:30. Just so you know, in your safety, I requested a civil standby with line out police at 6:30 on Monday. An officer will witness everything. Please tell me a list of everything needed to be addressed and repaired so we can inspect and address. Also, bills for said repairs so we can inspect and address. Thank you. And then that's when the message that she said she's not resending a list a million times that she sent that. Wow, so you're watching my every move. This is from Miss Collins. Why should you watch everything I do? That is beyond so creepy. I purposely only throw all my trash on Mondays ever since you told me you go through my trash way back the first month I moved in. Do you go through your trash?
The trash goes into a community bin and I put the trash out. So all of our trash goes into
Okay.
one bin.
Yeah, I was asking Mr. Branson. The property, do you all live on the same property?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a duplex, Your Honor.
Okay,
It's a duplex with first floor and second floor in each unit,
okay,
with a common basement.
okay. And so ma'am, you've been residing there since June, correct?
Yes.
And so if you're having all these issues, ma'am, why do you want to stay there?
I don't. I've been wanting to move. I've been trying to move. They won't give me my security deposit back. Back in November, they told me they were gonna raise my rent $400 a week. I have text
Ma'am.
messages.
Ma'am, what steps have you made to locate another place to live?
I have been looking and searching. I could show messages of every single property I've gone to look at. But without money, because I have to pay rent here or not put it into the court. And they will not, I've asked for my security deposit back. They have offered for me to get out of my lease, but they say, we won't give you your security deposit back. Because that's me breaking my lease.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes,
I happen to have been the attorney that evicted her from the last.
I'm sorry?
I happen
You
to be.
cannot bring that in,
Ma'am.
because I won that case. I won that case.
Ma'am, stop interrupting.
Sorry, Your Honor.
But you're not sorry because you keep doing it.
Sorry.
Stop.
I was going to address the issue of money. I happen to have been the attorney that evicted her from the last location
Where was that?
in Dearborn. It happened to have been, she went from Dearborn to here. She,
Stop right now, I will get to you, ma'am, stop the antics.
we allowed the case to be dismissed because she apparently left us with about $11,000 bill.
No.
We haven't chased her, we haven't done anything to it, because frankly, my client didn't want anything to do with it, but the point of my telling you this is that indeed, the allegation of having money has been raised over and over again before. And as you know, Judge, if she leaves, right, he's obligated after a certain period of time to return the money, otherwise she can sue for double and treble damages. So what she's alleging simply doesn't make any sense. And as you can see through the text messaging, in fact, offer to say, leave and we'll terminate the lease. And in that, when the lease is terminated, an inspection is done. And at that point, whatever the balance is, will go back. Now, keep in mind that you didn't order anything to be deposited into the account until the last hearing, which was at the end of January, correct? And so that money was readily available for her to have left in December. So that,
Which, I'm not following that, counsel, because I ordered an escrow order.
you did, and she
And she's
came up
been
with the money.
paying, and she's been paying in the escrow order.
That's right, but you can see in the prior text messages you read, it showed that in fact, they had offered to terminate the lease in December. And they told her, if you don't want this, stay go. Had they terminated the lease in December, they would have gone through the process of giving her whatever the security deposit is under the law, right? And in fact, her allegation now that she has no money didn't make any sense because as soon as you ordered the escrow to be put in, to be set up, it was set up and all of a sudden the money's there. So I'm just pointing out the inconsistency in her statement.
I don't find that's really an inconsistency in the statement. Your client or Miss Collins found a way, I don't know, and in any event, the money was deposited per the court order.
Correct.
Because otherwise she would have been in violation of court order. What is the security deposit amount?
$2,000.
May I make a point?
Yeah. On May 25th, you also made a payment, it says rent first month, June, $1,500. So what is it you're disputing about the first month?
He had me pay to move in for June 1st, yet I wasn't allowed to move in until June 16th. Because supposedly they're gonna redo the kitchen. And I have, if you look at my phone, I have plenty of text messages where then finally in October, while in the hospital, they say, we really weren't gonna redo your kitchen. They baited and switched me to move in there.
While in the hospital?
Yes, I ended up.
You came to the hospital?
I ended up in the hospital for a month and a half because the basement was full of black mold, which they knew from the 2 pages from 2019 that place cannot be lived in.
What do you say, she can have that back, please, thank you. What are you stating from 2019?
The city of Wyandotte said that that basement has a big crack in it and that it's contaminated with mold and it had to be fixed. They still, knowing I have stage 4 cancer, allowed me to move in there. Also with lupus. Within 2.5 months of moving in there, I got put into U of M hospital and I was in there for 2 months. They knew I was in there. I now have a rare disease that doesn't hold vitamins in my body and have lost over 20 pounds since I've lived in that house. And they know this. And now that I've got the copy of in 2019, the 2 pages, which also is most of the stuff I've complained about that needed to be fixed since I've lived in that house. My doctors in U of M are testing my body compared to the samples we took from the basement to see if that's what's causing my body to do a complete shutdown. Because I ended up losing my sight, which I have messages to them because they were asking me to leave in October.
Hold on. So.
While in the hospital, they asked me to move out.
Sight?
I lost my sight for 2 weeks while in the hospital.
Okay,
Because of the place I live in.
all right. So I think it's evident that Ms. Collins is going to be moving out. So, counsel, at this point, where do we go with whether or not your client's going to agree to return her security deposit, and then she's going to move out. And then we can indicate that'd be by February 28th. So that's.
I might need longer because I gotta find a place. I have stage 4 cancer, which I just had surgery.
Ma'am, you said that you found a lot of places, but you don't have the money. So if you're getting your security
Yes.
deposit back, you have the money to pay for a security deposit, correct?
My next question would be,
Is that correct?
yes, if I get it back before that, yes, the 28th, yes.
Okay,
Your Honor, we don't have a problem with giving the security deposit back. We would love for her to leave. The only issue is we want to ensure that the damages, if any, okay, we would be allowed, if we were incurred the cost, to take it out of the security deposit, like we're allowed under the lease and we're allowed under the law. But the compromise here, we're willing to give $1,000 to her of that security deposit immediately to encourage her to leave. That's not a problem. And we would hold back $1,000. And then once she leaves and there's nothing wrong, if she gives us a forwarding address like was required by the law, we'd be more than happy to give it to her.
okay, I think that's a reasonable resolution, ma'am.
Your Honor, they do not have a legal lease. Here in 2021, they signed an affidavit with the city of Wyandotte that they legally will not rent the property or he will be served 90 days in jail.
You know,
Let me take a look at that, please. Can you show counsel, please, Mr. Tim?
He signed that with the city of Wyandotte. I'm not living with a legal,
Ma'am, please stop, just one moment. Okay, that this is an affidavit of non-rental unit. It's property address at 2223, okay, and you're 2221. So, counsel, after this, was there something that was put forth that your client does have a valid CFO for it to be a rental property?
what happened, Your Honor, is that when my client signed that, my client was actually living in that home while renovating the 2221. So when he signed it, that in fact is true. And then my client moved when he completed the renovation and began, am I wrong on this? We began the renovation of 2223 as well?
Correct.
And that's how this affidavit came into being.
Okay. So is there a subsequent affidavit from 2022? When
No,
did you start renting it out again?
She's the first tenant.
Okay, ma'am, you're saying, So I'm guessing that means no. So who was the tenant before you?
I got mail from, and there's a text message I could show you where mail was delivered in my mailbox from the tenant before me, and they said, oh, just put that in our mailbox because we'll forward it to them.
Who was the tenant before you?
I don't know the name, but I had gotten the mail because they told me, oh, the tenant had 2 children, she was a stay-at-home
Yeah,
mom.
but that doesn't tell me, that doesn't
I don't
say,
know the name of the
Ma'am.
tenant.
that doesn't say what year they lived
Oh,
there.
they lived there right before me is what I was told when I moved in.
Who told you that?
Mr. Branson and his wife.
that's a false statement, Your Honor. Mr. Branson, why don't you tell the truth? You can hear it directly from him.
But he also made.
Hold on, no, hold on.
We lived in the 2223. My parents previously owned the home. We lived in 2223. My sister lived in 2221. We then started renovations, which also, as you see from the Santo issue, we had gone in front of the city to make all kinds of things in front of the zoning board to lengthen the driveway and do other things. That's why the renovations were done. Because we still lived in 2223 and 2221, basically, they just took it off the rolls because we were inhabiting both sides, if you will. No rent was being collected, nothing was happening. We get mail from people still. I just got a voter registration card from Miss Becky Handler, who lived there in '84. Yes, ma'am.
After you renovated the 2221
Yes,
and you moved out of the 2223,
correct.
then you were renovating 2223.
We were doing the updates and things like that.
Okay.
Yes, we did a
So
back.
after you were finished with that, what year was that?
That was probably around November of last year, and then the house.
23?
Yes,
Okay, so did you rent that out to anybody prior to Ms. Collins
no,
after you finished with the upgrades?
no,
Have you been inside of 2223 since Ms. Collins moved in?
oh, no. Well, without her knowledge, no.
When is the last time that you were in the unit with her knowledge?
When she was in the hospital, she sent us a text that someone was moving through her house. I have that in text message.
That somebody was moving through her house?
Yeah, and she said someone was on the camera, so I said, would you like me to go check? She was in the hospital. So I went into the house, said, nothing's been arranged, nothing's been moved, everything looks fine, and that was the actual last time.
And forgive
So
me.
when you were there, sir, did you notice that there was any damage to the property or anything of that nature that would be of significant expense after she moves out.
No, because I didn't really look. I was looking for a person, I wasn't.
Okay, but nothing jumped out at you?
Yeah, nothing jumped out.
Okay.
If I may, Judge, may I supplement what he said? He called me yesterday, Mr. Branson called me yesterday and said that the front door apparently was broken because the door, what's it called?
Door closer.
The door closer wasn't working, so he did yesterday go in and repair the front door and repair the door closer so the door locked, because it was flipping in the wind.
Okay.
He actually was in my house December 1st. I have it on videotape. You have the phone in your hand?
No, we had to give the phone back to you.
Oh. Okay, I actually had the whole video of him and his wife in my house on December 1st. So, I mean, you'd like to see
Were
that,
you
so.
home on December 1st?
Yeah, he was shouting at me and told me I should feel unsafe and he'll come in whenever he wants, when I'm not there or when I'm there. I had it on tape, December 1st, so he just lied under oath on that. But you can see the videotape if
With
you
all due
like.
respect, Your Honor, the only person that's lied under oath is.
Would you like to see the tape? Would you like to see the tape that he just did lie under oath to, that he was in my house on December
Well,
1st?
I think that I had asked, was there a time or when was the last time you were in there with her present? The reason I asked that is because I wanted to see if there was any way that your client was able to ascertain if there were any significant damages that would cost, obviously, a significant amount of money upon Ms. Collins relocating. That's why I was asking that question, ma'am. So that was the sole purpose of this court asking that question.
My client is so tired of this, Your Honor, that's the reason we made the offer of giving her half, just being blind about it. We just want her out.
So ma'am, it seems as though that's a reasonable resolution.
No, Your Honor, I'm asking for all my money back because of this is an invalid lease, because also I have the
Okay,
reason.
show me the law that says that it's an invalid lease.
I already submitted that with one of my things saying in the city of Wyandotte, you cannot have a rental property and collect any money. And that's included in my amended motion, where I gave that to you. But here he has with the city of Wyandotte, the reason why he does not want to get an updated one is he has 2 pages of violations that he occurred with the city on my property.
Have you rectified all of the issues that were listed? I don't even see all that, ma'am.
2 pages.
I don't know what the 2 pages of, I
They
haven't
gave
had
him
a
a copy on
inspection to be
January
able to-
7th, a recopy. They
Your Honor,
mailed
if I
him a
may.
new.
Hold
copy
on.
of it.
First of all, when one is talking, ma'am, you can't interrupt. Okay, and counsel, you can't interrupt when 2 people are talking. What is it, let me see what that is, please, that you're looking at.
Your Honor, first of all, I would
No.
object to the document because it's clearly hearsay.
I'm
not
just looking to see what it is. Sir, did you receive a letter from the city of Wyandotte regarding a communication from the Department of Engineering and Building?
Yes,
Okay, so seems to be the 2 pages that she's referencing. She's referencing, okay, so I'm going to presume then, is that when did you contact the engineering department to schedule the January date?
I've been in contact since December.
Put your hand down.
With Kelly from engineering, and I knew what it was is once we were out of there and I rented, it was like, I had made a phone call over there and said, do I need a certificate of occupancy? They said, there was a miscommunication, and she goes, no, you're 2223 and the 2221, and they got them crossed over, and she goes, no, you don't need a CFO. Well, later I learned, oh, you do, so I immediately started contacting, they said, well,
Okay, so my question is, there's a whole bunch of stuff for 22-23 on here. Have you made those changes?
I don't know what inspection is, because it has had previous inspections.
Right, it has been from 2019. Here's what I have to do right now. Right now I have to, for safety purposes, I have to handle this in custody right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order that you all go out into the lobby. And ma'am, let me just tell you where I'm heading with this. You've indicated you want to relocate. Mr. Branson has offered to guarantee, stop telling me, has offered to guarantee at least $1,000 back on your security deposit. And the balance of that upon your relocation is presuming that there isn't any significant damage, okay? So that is what is being offered at this point.
I want my 5,000 that's in with the court.
And I want the winning lottery numbers, but I don't have that either.
He doesn't
So,
have a
ma'am,
legal right to that.
Ma'am, just one moment. So I want you to go out in the lobby, you can leave your stuff right there. and I want you to process that and think about it, because right now, I don't know that I'm refunding you $5,000, because I don't know that I have all the information. So I want you to process that while I handle this in custody, and there will not be any arguing out there in the lobby.
You want us to leave as well, Your Honor?
Whatever you choose to do, I have to do this in custody here.
For the record, Judge, I believe she's been recording this hearing. I just heard the recorder go off.
We're not on the record, but now
No,
we're going back on the record. Hold on, just one moment. Hold on, just one moment.
I
Hold
just
on.
overheard.
Both of you, please approach. We are back on the record in the matter of Branson versus Collins.
I just overheard a recording being turned off by a phone.
Ma'am, have you been recording these proceedings?
I didn't know I was not allowed to. I have stage 4 cancer and do not remember everything. I need to do stuff so I remember and downgrade everything.
There's a,
I didn't know I'm not allowed to.
For the record, she has at least 3 phones on her.
No, I do not have 3 phones
sorry.
for the record.
2 phones, my apologies, 2 phones.
ma'am, you are not to record court proceedings. There are transcripts that you can order if you have a question.
Your Honor, I didn't know this. I record everything, like my doctor's visits, everything, because in my mind, I have cancer brain. I don't remember
Okay,
everything.
stop right now. You're gonna leave both of your phones in here, turn them both off, completely off.
I did not know this. I record everything because I have cancer.
Then ma'am, you should have brought to the court's attention that you wanted to record.
I did not know.
Stop.
I would
You
like
should
you
have
to
brought it-
recuse yourself,
you
by
should
the
have
way you're
brought it-
acting to me.
Stop
I would like
interrupting.
you to recuse yourself. I'm putting that on the record.
Stop
I'm asking
interrupting
you to
the
recuse
court.
yourself.
I'm asking you,
I have
I'm
a problem
telling,
with him knowing him. I
I'm
would like him
telling you to
recused.
stop interrupting the court.
I'm asking this to be brought into another judge,
On what basis, ma'am?
because he knows him. I have a problem with it.
No, you already said you didn't have a
I
problem
did
with that.
not.
You sure did. You said you had no
I'm
problem.
appealing this, by the way, you are acting right now.
Ma'am, the court is not acting anyway,
Yes.
other than in
I'm a stage 4
reaction to you.
cancer patient and you're
Excuse
taking
me.
my humane rights away.
Excuse me, the only thing this court is doing is acting in complete
I would like
shock.
to know
that
from the
you're-
court that you're raising your voice at
Stop
me.
interrupting the court. The incredulous behavior that you've exhibited by recording these.
Do not dare say
Again,
that to me.
You are interrupting me once again. You have been interrupting throughout these entire proceedings, whether it's been verbal, nonverbal, or with raising your hand and making gestures. Now, the fact that you have been recording these proceedings improperly is extremely problematic, ma'am. Extremely problematic. Are those phones completely off?
Yes, they are.
Please show them to my court officer.
He could keep them if you'd like to, until the court is over.
They're off. Okay, very good.
I didn't hear you, man.
Are you currently on probation or parole anywhere?
No.
Have you ever failed to appear in court for any reason, sir?
Your Honor, she just gave me the finger. I'm looking at the screen.
Hold on, right now. Don't interrupt my record. Do not interrupt the record right now. Both of you, please stop.
Apologize.
Stop. You're interrupting my record. Stop.
Forgive me, Judge. I've never, that's not happened in court.
Please stop.
Didn't do anything.
Stop, both of you.
Oh, God.
Didn't do anything.
Okay, you know what, both of you, out into the lobby, please, right now. Both of you in the lobby because you're destroying the record here.
I don't
want to be
know any opposed to you.
Have a nice day, Your Honor.
You as well.
Thanks.
I'm gonna take a brief recess for a moment.
Okay.
Okay?
Your Honor, I apologize for.
Hold on, please, hold on. Please stop talking. So we are back on the record in the matter of William Branson and Heather Collins, 240-2269. So, two things. One, I'm going to address the recording in just one moment. However, counsel alleged while I was on the record in another matter that, Miss Collins flipped him off, gave him the middle finger. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you one time. Did you do that
Yes,
to Mr. Dagger?
yes.
Why?
Because I can't deal with his lies. He lies. He lies to what happened in
Yeah.
Dearborn.
Ma'am, I was on the record in another matter.
I apologize to your court. I
Please
shouldn't
stop.
have done it.
Please stop interrupting the court. I think I've run out of fingers how many times I've said that to you. I was on the record in another matter. Nothing was even being handled in your matter. You were sitting there and you just flipped off the attorney. So when I indicated previously that your behavior was incredulous today, that goes right in there to support that. Now, as it relates to the recording, except for requests for film or electronic media coverage of court proceedings, as permitted under Administrative Order number 1989-1, the following restrictions apply to photography, audio recording, video recording, broadcasting or live streaming in a courthouse. A, in a courtroom. In a courtroom, no one may use a portable electronic device to take photographs or for audio or video recording, broadcasting or live streaming unless that use is specifically allowed by the judge presiding over that courtroom. The court did not give you permission for that because you did not ask. Paragraph 7, violations of this rule. If these rules are violated, the presiding judge may confiscate the device for the remainder of the day or order that the phone be turned off and put away. Violations of this rule are punishable by appropriate sanctions up to and including contempt of court as determined in the discretion of the court. The court is going to find you in contempt of court for that very, very blatant violation, and the court is going to assess sanctions. You've had an opportunity, ma'am, to process the offer that's been put forth by Mr. Branson, correct?
Am I allowed to speak, Your Honor?
Yes or no? You've had time to process that.
Yes.
Are you going to accept that offer at this time? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I'd like to continue to
So
live there then.
Here's what, I'm sorry?
If you're gonna make me pay my rent then I'm gonna live there till the end of my lease, because this is not a legal lease.
You don't want to live there, you've stated, and now you say that you're going to live there until the end of your lease because it's not a legal lease.
You won't let me defend myself. This is
Ma'am,
supposed to be a hearing where I'm allowed to defend myself, ask witnesses, and you have not allowed me to do any of that.
yeah.
This has not been a trial whatsoever. This has been you controlling this entire thing. I'm not allowed to ask a witness anything. I'm not allowed to show paperwork to prove that he has other properties to know he needs certificates of occupancy.
Okay, ma'am, let me respond to a couple of those things. Number one, you're correct. I am controlling the proceedings. That is my job as the judge, to control the proceedings. Also, it's my job to make sure that the proceedings are relevant and that we are not going outside of the purview as to what the issue is, okay? So, the issue originally was unpaid rent. That rent has been paid, it's in the court escrow account. You have raised the issue of not having a valid C of O. It's been determined there's not a valid C of O. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order two things. Number one, I'm going to order both parties to brief the court on the issue of the legality of a lease when there's not a valid C of O. That's the first thing. And those briefs are due on February 14th. That's in 1 week. Second, there is going to be an opportunity for Mr. Branson to inspect the property to see what current status it is in. And I'm going to pick the time right now before you leave. And that's what's going to happen. Yes.
May I ask that he not videotape all of my possessions while he was in there? Because that's what he wants to do.
Ma'am, if there is an area that needs attention, such as something that's broken,
Yes,
something that needs to be repaired,
yes,
something of that nature, he absolutely has the right to take a
100%.
photo.
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
No videos, take a photo.
So let's put on the record with Ms. Collins, that would state that he's only to take pictures of something wrong, and there's presumption that nothing is wrong if he doesn't take any pictures of it. We put that on the record.
Okay,
Thank
would
you.
you agree with that, ma'am?
Agree, but am I allowed to show him things that are wrong as well? And if he doesn't take a photo though, that doesn't mean it's not wrong. Because I don't wanna show him areas that I know that are wrong and then he just doesn't take a picture of it.
If there are areas that you know that there are in need of repair,
Yeah.
then Mr. Branson, I would presume, would be taking a photo of it.
He-
So if you're shown that area, sir, even if you disagree that it doesn't need repair, take a photo, and then when you come back, we'll address it.
May I have somebody with me?
I already said, you can have somebody with you, and Mr. Branson can have somebody with you that's not his wife.
That's correct.
So then there's not a question as to whether or not, you know, anyone's ganging up on anybody. So, Monday, February 10th, 5 PM. Does that work for both of you?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm also going to state as well, I am expecting the most civilized behavior that there can be. So ma'am, that means no mumbling under the breath comments, nothing. You are not to be recording at all.
What about my cameras that are already in my house?
That's a different story. They're already on, right?
He
So-
he knows my cameras are there.
Again, ma'am, I just said,
I'm sorry.
you have a problem with not making comments. You're not to record on your phone, not to put your phone in his face, vice versa. And then I will have you both back on the 21st.
Your Honor, I have a question. May I take pictures too of what he takes pictures of?
Sure. In the meantime, Council and Ms. Collins brief the issue of no C of O and what the effect is on a lease and collecting rent by next Friday, the 14th. Also, ma'am, please make a list of everywhere that you're applying for housing and see what all that detail is as well. You're just gonna keep a list
Yes.
and then you'll bring it on that day.
On the 14th, on the
On the
18th.
Yes, you're raising the issue that
He has.
he is illegally collecting rent because he doesn't have a C of O at the property. So I'm having both you and Mr. Dagger brief the issue as to how that applies to this case and what the ramifications are if somebody's collecting rent without a C of O. But for right now, I'm not hearing any more testimony, any more arguments. That is what the court ordered, and you're all to return on the 18th at 8:30 PM.
Will I be able to bring my witnesses up at that time too?
Yeah, let me just say this, okay? Neither side has presented witnesses today because this court has not found that it was necessary to hear the testimony from the witnesses at this point. Because I've heard testimony from both you and Mr. Branson as to what the issues are, okay?
There's more issues.
Just one moment. And so, for those reasons, the court didn't find that it was necessary today to hear from those witnesses. Perhaps on the 18th, I may need to hear from those witnesses, I'm not sure. What is the other issue?
That was the issue, that I paid for a full month and I
Okay.
didn't get to live there for a full month.
Your Honor, may I ask a question? Ms. Collins just stated that she didn't move in until the middle of June. Is that what is being represented to the court?
She testified June 16th is when she moved in. Is that what you testified to, ma'am? June 16th?
I brought 2 boxes in before the 16th.
That wasn't my question.
Yes,
Did you testify that you were not allowed to move in until June 16th?
I wasn't allowed to bring any of my big stuff. He allowed me to bring 2
Ma'am,
boxes in before the
Please,
16th.
you're not listening to my
That's what I'm
question.
saying, I was allowed to bring 2 boxes in.
No, listen. My question requires a yes or no answer. Was your testimony earlier that you were not allowed to move in until June 16th? Was that your testimony?
There's more to it, the
Yes
kitchen
or
was
no?
not available to live.
Ma'am, yes or no? Was that your testimony?
Yes,
Okay, there we go. So that answers your question. Right, counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you said that there's other issues. What are the other issues that you're alleging?
the other issues is about
Mr. Branson coming in whenever he wants.
Okay, I'm not sure how that's relevant to these proceedings right this moment.
Mr. Branson comes in at all hours of the night. Mr. Branson comes in and takes stuff out of my house whenever he wants. Just if they're missing stuff.
Okay, and that's what this witness is going to be testifying to?
Yes.
Okay. Any other issues that you're alleging, ma'am?
I have 3 police reports going on right now against him because he's been stealing my mail. And my mail's been on hold with the postal service, and I have a case against him
Okay, ma'am.
about that.
Okay, any other issues?
The sexual harassment case that's been going on as well.
Okay, I don't know anything about that. If there's a pen on the mail and the harassment issues, that those are criminal, if that's criminal investigations right now, then that will be left for that.
I would like to ask the court to have him stay out of my property except on the date that you have set for the rest of the time being. Unless he's coming for repairs that I know of.
So, that's the finality of the issues that we have to address, correct? Okay, is that correct?
Thank you.
Is that correct, yes or no? I need verbal, ma'am, for the
Thank you,
recording,
Your Honor.
the legal recording that the court's
Thank you,
doing.
Your Honor, yes.
Okay, now, counsel,
Your Honor, as we left the court, she immediately proceeded to the witness to inform of what was happening in the court in violation of the strict order of the court.
okay, just before we get to the next issue, ma'am, did you go out and start talking to the witness about what happened in court?
I would
Yes,
think,
yes or no?
yes. So I won't use him.
Correct. He's
Plain and
he's not,
simple.
he's not,
Won't use him.
nope, what's his name?
Brian Loves.
You seem to have a hard time understanding that what the court states is something that has to be followed. I was very clear and said, do not discuss anything with anybody in the lobby. I was very clear on that.
I thought we were done.
No, ma'am, it doesn't matter. This is still ongoing. I said, do not discuss this with anybody in the lobby. So,
I have 2 brain tumors, Your
Ma'am,
Honor, excuse
ma'am.
me.
ma'am, nope, stop, please. You stated that many times that you have stage 4 cancer, okay? Now, then you just stated that you thought we were done. And now you're stating that you have 2 brain tumors, so that's why you spoke to him. Please, stop that, okay?
Your Honor, this actually asked for a jury trial and you never gave me that right to have one.
When did you request a jury trial, ma'am?
You never gave me a chance to request one. You automatically just put this in front of yourself.
Ma'am, you have to request that at the time of filing. All right, Mr. Dagger, what's the next issue?
I will be filing for a jury trial.
Your Honor, as she left, she immediately turned on, after speaking to the witness, she immediately turned on her phone.
My phones were in here the entire time. Both phones were in here.
Please, stop interrupting.
My phones were left in here.
I said stop interrupting, that means stop all the comments.
Well, if it's in fact true that her phones were here, I honestly saw her using the phone, and I think the officer also saw her using the phone out there, and I thought that was her phone. If she's represented to the court, that's not her phone, then by all means, I accept that.
Were you using the phone out there, ma'am?
To call my work to tell them that I wouldn't be in because I was still in court.
Okay, and so what phone did you use?
Brian's, because both my phones were in here.
Okay. Ms. Collins, the court, as indicated, does hold you in contempt of court for your illegal recording of these proceedings earlier. And so the court's going to order a $250 sanction.
And I could appeal that, correct?
I'm sorry?
I could appeal that, correct?
You can appeal this court's ruling of holding you in contempt of court
Okay, for the record, I feel-
for recording these proceedings.
I'm going to
Absolutely. You can certainly file that appeal. I
I'm
believe
gonna
it's
appeal.
14 days.
Okay, I will appeal it.
Your Honor, when do you expect her to pay?
I'm sorry?
Did you designate a time when she'll be required to pay the amount?
Well, first of all, she's indicated she's going to be appealing that. So if she does in fact appeal, then it will be after that. And so otherwise, the court would give her 30 days to do that,
Thank you, Your Honor.
to make that payment.
And would I get something in the mail about this?
Get something in the mail about what?
This,
The finding of contempt?
yes, would I get something about this so I could appeal it, some piece of legal paper about this contempt?
You would like a written order? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that way I could show something that I have to appeal against.
Sure, no problem. I
Thank
can
you.
make sure that there's a written order. You will receive that via email on Monday. As my staff,
And could the days,
as my staff is all left for the day, except for my two court
and could
officers
the,
here.
and could the days
And again,
start,
can you please not interrupt while I'm talking?
and could I have the 30 days start at that time on Monday, since they cannot write it up until Monday?
Sure.
Your Honor, may I please ask the court that the next time I come in front of you, that I get a chance to defend myself, since I do not have a lawyer.
Ma'am, I will say that I'm a bit confused as to what you mean defend yourself, because this court has given you ample opportunity to bring forth the issues
No.
that you're alleging.
You're
And
not.
in fact, this court has given you time to look through your phone, to find messages that you stated were said or sent from Mr. Branson. The court has also given you ample opportunity to state what some of your concerns were. The court has reviewed the documents that you brought forth. The court has reviewed text messages that you have provided as well. And I don't know what defend yourself means when you say that, because I have you all coming back on the 18th to address the issues that have been raised by you. So I don't know what you mean when you're saying the opportunity to defend yourself.
Your Honor, because every single motion I did do in a timely manner, because the motion to dismiss, I brought 2 days after I found out that he was his lawyer. So I had every single timely manner. I did my motion to suppress all the evidence the day after I got their evidence, which they did not give me in a timely manner, because they tried to scam me by saying I had to e-file, which if you would have read everything showed every single email, they tried to act as if I was an attorney and said that. If you would have read my motion.
Ma'am, I did read your motion.
Yeah, all their evidence should have been thrown out because they kept saying, oh, I needed to see e-file, I
Ma'am,
need
that
to
is
e-file.
that's not how it works, okay? There are court rules that require certain procedures to be followed,
I followed everyone to the letter of the law.
okay? Did you file a notice of hearing? You did not file a notice of hearing, and there's
As I said, he has you in his
excuse
pocket.
me. Ma'am, as I stated, I'm not in anybody's pocket. And you stated that Mr. Branson stated that I was in his pocket, and you just stated that you said it. So let me just say this, okay?
He said it.
Stop, please, with your continued statements while I'm talking. You have had ample opportunity to address your issues with the court. In fact, you've continued to interrupt the court to raise your issues. Can you please stop with the papers, because it interferes with the recording, because the microphones are ultra sensitive. So, as I stated, I don't know what you mean when you say ample opportunity to defend yourself, because the court has taken a lot of time to narrow down the issues as to what the issues are here, okay? So, we have those issues narrowed down and specified for the record. We have the date that you are both to submit your briefs. We have the date that you're going to both be there with individuals at the property to take photos of anything that needs repair or doesn't need repair. And then we're all going to be returning here on February 18th at 8:30 a.m.
Your Honor, there's one more thing. With regret, I'm just putting on the record what I heard her say outside about this court. May I do that?
Well,
It's not very flattering.
that's fine. I'm used to not being flattered.
She said that she's seen your picture as part of a swingers club.
I
While we
never
were
said
standing
that.
outside. I swear to God, under oath, that's what she said.
I never once said that, Your Honor. Under oath, I swear under oath, I
Step up,
never said
officer.
that.
Step up, officer, he heard it.
First of all, counsel, you do not direct my officer to
I'm
stand
sorry,
up.
Your Honor, I'm really angry now, because we know where this is
I said, Your Honor, and I will repeat what I said. I said, I have text messages. He is in a swingers club, and that might be how you might know him, and that's might be how, listen, this might be laughable, but I will admit what I said. I have no shame in what I said because I was upset because I feel like I'm losing the case. So I'll admit what I said. I have no shame in it because I'm losing my life here right now. Because I know he's doing something illegal. All right, but just let me say what I said. If I'm gonna be accused of saying something, let me at least say how I said it, right? That I have text messages where he admits he's part of a swingers club. He's part of the Jeep Swingers Club, part of Wyandotte, right? And I said, maybe that's how he knows the judge, and maybe that's why he has her in the back pocket. I asked and said, maybe that's how. If they heard it as a different thing, because they were all the way on the other side of the hall, then they heard it as a different thing and twisted the words. I never said you were part of. I said maybe that's how. I never claimed you were. So I will say that's how. Never claimed you were. So that's how I said it. So don't say I said you were.
I don't know what to say, Judge.
Well, I mean.
I'll admit what I said. People are allowed.
It's laughable.
I will laugh about it, but
because
I'm allowed to have my own feelings.
You can have your own feelings, but just as though you don't want inappropriate things being said about you, don't say those about other people. Lucky I have a thick skin, quite frankly, and I've already established that I do not know Mr. Branson. Maybe I've seen him at some point during my campaigning 7 years ago, whatever it was. I don't know, but I've already said that. I've already said all of that. And so if you don't have to believe me, ma'am. You stated that in fact, you did state, I think earlier, that you were fine with everything moving forward and that you believed what I said. In any event, ma'am.
I can't believe you when you're allowing someone against the law to do things.
Ma'am, I am not allowing anybody against the law to do anything, okay? There has not been a citation given to Mr. Branson, to my knowledge anyway, that would have him in front of this court. And I just said, when the two of you are to be sending your briefs to the court, both you and Mr. Dagger, so that you can brief the issue and we can address the issue of not having a CFO. So before you start accusing this court of doing something improper, please take a few moments to process it, because I haven't allowed anybody to do anything illegally here today. And in fact, I'm having you and Mr. Dagger brief the issue of no CFO. So that's 100% opposite of what you've just stated. I'll see you all on the 18th.
Thank you.
Court's in recess.
And I apologize.